Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of Shell Point Today for August 26th, 27th, and 28th. I'm Dan Philgreen. On today's show, the Director of Technology Services, Burt, will talk about how to tune in to the expanding TV services coming to residents next month. And we'll recap the top stories from earlier in the week. But first, we want to remind you that it's time once again for a LifeQuest discussion group. This month, it will be presented by Director of Resident Life, Laura Slack. Turns out she has an affection for kayaking, and she'll be sharing all about the Great Calusa Blueway, a paddling trail developed by Lee County Parks and Recreation. The discussion will commence at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands on Saturday. So come on out and learn about her recent kayak journey to Pine Island and the Matlacha Pass, and watch a video tour of the trip. Looking ahead to Monday, it's your opportunity to take in a movie in the Social Center. The 1947 film The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer will be seen at 6:45 p.m. The movie stars Cary Grant, Myrna Loy, and Shirley Temple, and is full of zany antics and plenty of laughs. In just a couple of weeks, there will be some significant upgrades to your cable TV service. More high-definition channels will be added, as well as several technical improvements. To hear more about it, the Director of Technical Support Services, Burt, is in the studio with the details.
Well, hello, Shell Point, Rich Nation here, and I have Burt in the studios with us. He's the Manager of Technical Support Services, and he keeps your television up and running from behind the scenes, a lot of technical stuff going on, and Peter, I understand something exciting is happening very soon. And you guys are doing a major upgrade to the channels. Tell us about that.
Indeed we are, Rich. Good morning. It's nice to be here again. Overnight from September 6th and September 7th, we will be upgrading our system. And what that will mean for all our viewers out there is that we'll go from 40 HD stations to approximately 115 stations. So the upgrade really is to get everything into HD. Right now, a lot of our channels are just in standard def.
Which is, yeah, the high definition, much sharper picture, and the reason we all went out and bought those big widescreen TVs is to get that better picture. So, well, that sounds exciting. So that's a lot more channels they'll get in HD.
That's correct.
Now, you're adding some channels in addition to that, too,
We are.
right?
There's about 6 or 8. You know, we know what most of those are right now. I don't want to name them because the actual TV lineup that will be coming on the 7th hasn't been quite finalized. So I don't want to put something out there that we lose at the last minute.
Right, right. Okay, so when they get this lineup, are they going to get something like to tell them, like a preview guide?
Yeah, we'll have new lineup cards printed. They should be going to the printer very soon, and those we plan on distributing the day of the 6th, the day before the turnover. So they'll have them in advance.
Okay, wonderful. So they'll know exactly what they're getting. Okay, so the 6th, is that going to be like during the night that's going to flip over?
It will be. So we disrupt their services the least amount possible. We'll pull the plug, as they say, about 11 o'clock on that Tuesday night. All the equipment that's there currently will actually be forklifted out of that room and down, and the new equipment will be forklifted up and connected overnight. With any luck at all, it'll all be up and running about 6 o'clock the following morning.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, you say it's all going to be up and running, so they just turn on their TV the next morning?
Yeah, I wish it were that simple. Unfortunately, it's not. Since we're squeezing a lot more channels into the system, the way the digital world of TV works now, all the TVs will have to be reprogrammed. Along with the TVs, set-top boxes, TiVos, Apple TV, and Roku units, and the like will all have to be reprogrammed. So that's going to be time-consuming. We're hoping a lot of residents are able to do that on their own, but if not, we'll have staff to assist them.
Okay, so it's possible people could actually do this just with their remote and going into the settings of their actual TV?
Yeah, and I believe there's a lot of residents out there that are probably comfortable doing that, some that may not be, but what we would ask is that they at least try, because they can't lose anything by trying. You know, worst case is they still have no channels. Best case is they're successful and they've got TV to watch before we are able to get there and do it for them. Okay,
so that's the last line of defense, so to speak, is you guys will be happy to come out and program them.
Correct. That's going to be a monumental job, as you can imagine, so we just want to make residents aware. It could be a couple days before someone can actually get there to do that. So.
Right, right. Now, how does this affect, because I know some have TiVo and they have other devices hooked up, how will they get their their lineup or their preview guide on screen. Will any of that change?
Yeah, it will. We send the information as far as our channel lineup out to one company. That company then disperses it to all those others where you may find your TV guides. For those that are using TiVo to record, which there are quite a few residents out there, if you're recording by program, it's not an issue. The TiVos are smart enough to recognize that, and no matter where that channel falls, it will still record. But if you're like the old days of a VCR and you're telling your TiVo to record a specific channel at a certain time, that channel or station is likely to move, so you're going to have to reprogram that
I see.
based on that information.
So we can find it and know that it's recording the right thing. Okay, so other than, okay, we're going HD, so they're going to get more high-def channels. What are some of the other benefits to this?
Well, one of the great benefits for us from a technical standpoint is, how electronics are nowadays and technology. Every once in a while you get a glitch, whether it's due to a power surge or whatever. The DirecTV receivers, which is what we're using, will stop working. And sometimes you'll see that bouncing DirecTV logo on the screen, or they'll just be black. When that happens now, somebody has to physically go out to the head end and reset that receiver. With the new system, we're getting remote management. So theoretically, we can log into any one of those receivers, start it back up, or if it happened to glitch and change channels, we can change that channel remotely. So getting those corrected will happen much faster.
Well, that's wonderful.
It is. That's going to be great.
Especially with the sports, the football season coming.
Yeah, in
and
fact,
a lot of people
it happened
happy.
over the weekend. The NFL DirecTV receiver failed, and somebody had to come in and reset that. So.
Okay, so that'll be a great advantage. Anything else you want to add to this that they need to be aware of?
No, just appreciate their patience with this, this change. We understand that there's going to be some TVs out there we're just not going to be able to get to for a few days, and just really ask for their patience and bear with us. But it's going to be a great product when all is said and done. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. And like you said, there's no set instructions that's going to work for every TV because there's so many different brands of TVs. They're all different.
The programming is all different. If residents have the internet and they want to Google their particular model of TV or whatever it is they're trying to reprogram, they can probably get the instructions from the internet, or maybe even go to YouTube. So.
And something else, they might have a neighbor down the hall that had success with their TV that might be willing to come help them with theirs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right, so that's coming up September 6th. We will see a change and an upgrade in your TV. You'll get more channels, you'll get HD. There'll be a little bit of programming involved to program your TV so you can get those channels, but that's why Peter Burt and his team are here to help you get through that. And it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be very exciting, yes.
All right, so thanks for watching, and look forward to your new TV.
Thank you.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hi, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Happenings segment of ShellPoint TV. I'm Bev Chandler here with Michelle Tompkins, and we're going to tell you what's going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At 8 o'clock, we have men's round-robin tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Also at 8 o'clock, we have pickleball. That'll be at the game courts behind the Resident Activities Center. The Stamp Ministry will be in the Stamp Room on the Island at 8:15. And at 8:30, the Friday Marketplace will be going on in the Administration Courtyard, and it goes from 8:30 to 11:30. Canasta and Samba both will be played at the Woodlands Commons at 9 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock, we have the men's match play tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Inquiring Minds Group will be in the Manatee Room at 10:15. And at 10:15, we have the Model Yacht Sailing Club sailing at the Woodlands Commons Lake. The Suzy Q's heading out to Marker 92 or Pincher's Crab Shack today. They leave at 10:30. Sign up is required. Moving into the afternoon, we have a 12:30 mixed progressive bridge game. That's in the game room of the Woodlands. Zumba Fitness will be in the Health Club at 12:45. And advanced table tennis will be in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. Also at 1:15, those quilters will be in the Osprey Room working on their fine pieces of work. At 1:30, we have our first Vespers of the day. That's in the Community Room of the Arbor. Bid Euchre will be in the Sable Room at 2 o'clock. At 2:15, water volleyball is going on down at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. And our second Vespers of the day will be at the Community Room of King's Crown at 2:30. We have the Ballroom Dance Group in the Health Club at 3:15. And our final Vespers is at the Springs at 3:30. And we have Friday game night at the Resident Activity Center at 6:45. That's our final activity of the day. And here's Michelle. She's going to go over Saturday's lineup for you.
Let's start Saturday off at 8 a.m. with pickleball at the game court on the island. 8 a.m. is round robin tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. 9:30 will begin the men's doubles tennis at the tennis courts, as well as 9:30 the women's doubles. 9:45 we have duplicate bridge at the Manatee Room on the island. 10 o'clock we have our Life Quest discussion group in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. 1 o'clock is chess at the Library Lounge, Resident Activity Center on the island. Table tennis will begin at 1:15 in the Tarpon Room on the island. 3:15 we have basic line dancing at the Island Health Club, and that'll be the last event for Saturday. Bev, what is Sunday?
Well, Michelle, we start Sunday with 9 o'clock Christian Life Studies. That's held in the game room of the Woodlands as well as at the Village Church. Our morning worship service at the church is at 10:15. It's also broadcast live on ShellPoint TV channel 13 if you can't get to the church. We're going to move on into the afternoon for a 2 o'clock Sunday matinee. Amistad is playing in the Grand Cypress Room. We have a 4:15 Latin-sized dance group in the Health Club. And our final activity for the weekend is 6:15, our evening service at the Village Church. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here next week.
Menus for your weekend. In the Island Cafe on Friday, the sandwich special is a patty melt on rye with fries for $7.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill Friday are stuffed chicken breast for $15.95 or Florida lobster tails for $22.95. On Saturday in the Island Cafe, you can have a fried bologna sandwich with a cup of soup for $7.75. In the Palm Grill on Saturday, the special is prime rib for $20.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room is open for Sunday brunch. The cost is $17.50. In the Island Cafe on Sunday, the sandwich special is a hot dog or hamburger platter with potato salad, watermelon, and ice cream for $7.75. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins. I'm the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Sonny Torres. And Sonny is the Director of Spiritual Services here at the ShellPoint Retirement Community, which means you're the chaplain in the licensed facilities that we have here. Right. And those licensed facilities include which facilities?
Well, the pavilion is where my office is and where I spend most of my time. But all the assisted living facilities are the Arbor, the King's Crown, and Springs all have assistant chaplains caring for those people there. And basically, we're just there to help with spiritual needs of the people that are on staff or the residents that are there, and helping them deal with all the changes in their lives and the losses that they're having to deal with, and just to be there as a support for them, because
Absolutely.
it's a tough time of life.
It is a tough time. And that's not just for people who attend the Village Church, that's for everybody,
That's right. It's non-denominational. We are provided there as a non-denominational support for everyone.
That's fantastic. Now, the reason why we're chatting together today is that we're talking about the services at the Village Church for the weekend, and the weekend that's coming up, and so we're really looking forward to that. And we have an opportunity to have you speak to us on Sunday evening at our 6:15 service, which is always a pleasure. It's not your first time that you've done that, and so we always look forward to your insights in Scripture and how wonderfully you connect with people when you do deliver a message from the Lord. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be speaking about on Sunday night.
All right. Well, I'm going to be talking about lessons in the wilderness, kind of going to the Old Testament this time and talking about how that the children of Israel were given a little speech by Moses, his speech in Deuteronomy to the children of Israel that were heading into the Promised Land. And he was telling them they needed to remember the lessons that they learned in the wilderness or desert, I guess either one, interchangeable, and how that, especially the message about the manna, which I find really intriguing because he said it was that he allowed them to hunger, and to feed them on manna to humble them. And I thought, well, okay, that's kind of like they were sugary wafers, it said, that they found every day scattered on the ground. It was direct provision supernaturally from God, but why would it humble them to depend on God for the manna? I'm interested in that, and we're going to talk about that. And also the connection, Jesus used this little story quite a bit and referred to it when the devil tempted him to turn the stones into bread so he could take care of his own needs. And also this group of people that wanted Jesus to provide bread for them all the time. And he was trying to tell them about being the bread of life. I'm going to be able to tie all those things together to find out what in the world humbling us by causing us to hunger and depend on God for our daily bread, what that all means.
Fantastic. Now, I'm intrigued too. I think I'll come.
Oh, good.
That's great. Now, in addition to that, you're making me hungry talking about all this bread stuff.
Yes.
But there's something else happening following the evening service. What's that?
That's right. We're having an ice cream social.
How about that?
So
Yeah.
even if you're just coming for the Word of God, you also get a little cherry on top with an ice cream. So please come
Absolutely.
join us for ice cream.
Well, that'll be a wonderful evening. We always enjoy sort of the more informal atmosphere on Sunday nights and the fellowship that we enjoy.
That's right.
That's great. Great.
How about you? Sunday morning, what will you be preaching on?
That's right. Sunday morning, we'll be back in the Gospel of John in the series we've entitled Signs of Life. We're still in the first chapter, and it's a portion of the Gospel of John that talks about John the Baptist, first of all, sort of recognizing that when Jesus has come onto the scene, then he is diminishing in his role, and we've recognized that John the Baptist is sort of representative of the Old Covenant as sort of an Old Covenant prophet, the last one. But then the issue transfers to Jesus, who comes to us to provide grace and truth. And in Jesus, we've received grace upon grace, which is a wonderful contrast to where the people of Israel had been like in the wilderness in many respects. That's correct. And so we're going to be looking at that in a message entitled Grace Upon Grace.
Oh, that sounds excellent.
Absolutely. And of course, in the morning service, we always have wonderful opportunities for worship and the music. And I think the choir is getting back in action. I'm not sure if they're starting this Sunday morning, but certainly they're back in town. And we'll have a wonderful opportunity to glorify the Lord in the things we do on Sunday morning.
Look forward to it.
Absolutely. And we hope that we'll see you soon on Sunday, both the morning and evening service, morning at 10:15, evening at 6:15, to glorify the Lord with us in participating with us as worshipers on Sunday.
And now it's time to take a look back at the top stories from this week. Jeannie Veldman from Isings Travel visited with Bev Chandley this week to talk about the 2017 travel program for Shell Point residents, which includes a cruise to the historical, fascinating Cuba. There's also one to the Galapagos Islands, as well as exciting trips right here in the U.S.
Hi, I'm Bev Chandley, and I'm here today with Jeannie Veldman from Isings Travel. And she's the president and CEO, chief bottle washer from Isings Travel, who we've worked with for many years for our travel program that we offer for you residents here at Shell Point. So Jeannie was nice enough today to come and speak with us a little bit about our 2017 travel lineup. So I'm going to say, Jeannie, let's start with our trip to historic and fascinating Cuba. Tell us a little bit about our Cuba trip coming up.
Great opportunity, Bev. Well, it starts out with this is the first ship that's ever come from the United States to Cuba and back. That gives a consistency of accommodations and food on the ship, the convenience of traveling in that manner without having the difficulty of going from one place to the other in Cuba. And all the excursions are included, so you don't have to worry about what you're going to do and what you're going to see. It's all taken care of. 3 great ports, Havana, of course, for 2 days, Cienfuegos on the bottom part of Cuba, and Santiago de Cuba, and it gives you different flavors each place we go.
And you have a special guide lined up for
Well,
your trip
yes,
down
we
there.
have. On all of our trips, we always include our own private guide, and this one will be Kent Kaufman. For those who know Kent, he's great. He speaks 5 languages fluently, and Spanish, of course, is one of them.
Well, that's great. Okay, from Cuba, we run We're going out to the Galapagos Islands.
Great
Now,
opportunity.
That's a wonderful place.
Super, the Galapagos Islands. It's a place that really time again has stood still. The wildlife is very tame. You can get up close to it. But we're doing it the right way, in style, on the best expedition ship that's out there. And that particular ship gives different qualities and difficulties in excursions. So someone who wants to be or can only do something easy can do it and not miss it. And of course, the animal life with the sea lions and the iguanas and the giant tortoises are incredible.
Well, you know, that's one of our residents' real fears, is having to be on too rigorous of an adventure. So that's really nice to know they have those different levels.
We keep doing that. Any place we go, we consider everybody who wants to travel.
Excellent. All right, from the Galapagos, we're going out to Utah in the Four Corners area. That's a beautiful part of our country.
This one, again, will be escorted by our tour manager, Kent. We're taking no more than 28 people on it, and there's a lot of reservations coming in, so we're really encouraging everybody to book early. We'll start in Salt Lake City. We'll go down to Moab, and we'll enjoy wonderful Anasazi pueblos and sightseeing areas. We'll do Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park. We'll be on 3 train adventures. They'll be including the Durango-Silverton Railroad, the Georgetown Loop Rocky Mountain Railroad, and the Pikes Peak Railroad.
Now, the next area we're going to talk about is our trip to my old stomping grounds. I have 14 years in Washington State. My heart's still out there sometimes, but we're going off to the Pacific Northwest. Tell us about that trip.
Well, this is a trip that's totally catered and custom to our residents. It really is an exploration of an area that a lot of people have maybe touched on, but really haven't experienced. And again, our tour manager, Kent, is going to be part of that. We'll start in Seattle. We'll include Olympic National Park. We'll include Mount Rainier. We'll work our way over through the Cascades to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Hell's Canyon, and then end in Glacier National Park. So this is a great, great trip for those who love to do the Great American West.
And you will really experience the real West if you take that trip. There's no doubt about it. And we have one more trip going out on August 5th next year to Scotland, Iceland, and Norway. Iceland, Jeannie, really, Iceland.
Special trip. Brand new ship, the Koningsdam from Holland America, will host us. And this trip is actually, I have never seen anything just quite like it. We'll start and end in Amsterdam. We'll go over to Scotland and spend 3 days and 2 nights, of course, on the ship. They'll be in Edinburgh and Inverness in Scotland. And by the way, on this trip, we are including the festivities of the Royal Military Tattoo in Edinburgh.
I've heard about that. I've heard it's fabulous.
Spectacular. Then we go over to Iceland. It's 4 days and 3 nights in Iceland. Unprecedented. Most ships will stay for a day and out you go. We'll explore the fjords. We'll explore the geologic features, the history, and of course the fascinating people that live there. Then we're on to Norway. 2 ports of call. One is Alesund, which is a beautiful little fishing village along the coast of Norway, and Bergen, where you have the opportunity to go on one of the beautiful fjord cruises that you might have heard about.
That will be outstanding. And we have one more fascinating trip I'd like to hear about, and that is our trip in September to Austria and northern Italy. Tell us about that one.
Again, no one has anything like this at all. This is a total custom trip. Very fascinating. We're going throughout Austria and again covering northern Italy. We'll start out in Vienna for 2 nights. We'll continue to Salzburg for 3 nights. Then on to Innsbruck and enjoy the wonderful Austrian Alps. Well, then we're going to transition down to northern Italy. Nothing like 3 nights in Venice and another 3 nights in the Lake District of northern Italy with Lake Como and Lake Maggiore and Lake Bellagio. Sightseeing throughout. And of course, this is another one of our tours where we include no more than 28 guests on it. We end in Milan before coming home. Great sightseeing both in the mountains and of course in Venice. And again, Kent will be your escort, special tour manager on this one. So hope to see you all on this one as well.
Wow, that sounds great, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Well, you folks will be receiving these flyers in your mailboxes for the various trips that we offer with Icings Travel. And if you're interested or want more information, or you'd like to sign up, if you turn over on the back, you'll see my Bev Chanley here with phone number and Icings Travel as well. If you call either one of those phone numbers, we'll be happy to give you all the information you need and try to get you out and about on one of these trips.
Thank you very much for having us.
Also this week, we headed out to the LifeQuest Aquatic Center to see Melody Brode's latest fit tip to keep us exercising in the water.
Hi, it's Melanie Brode with today's Fit Tip. Today we have switched apparatuses to a barbell. Can I see your barbells real quick, everybody? Can you hold them up? They're all different sizes. Obviously, the bigger they are, the more buoyant and harder they are to work, okay? So today we're gonna push them down so they're right underneath your shoulders. And what you do is you get deep enough where you're not touching the bottom and you just hover in an upright standing position. That's all you do. It's working your shoulders, your triceps, and believe it or not, it's balance because it's you controlling your center of mass. So how hard is that? Okay, so to add a little arm, you can do a little punch. Give me a little pump. Give me a little arm pump. Don't move your feet. Your lower body's rigid and you'd pump your arms. How about a one arm pump? So that just makes it a little lopsided, makes you engage your core a little bit. Don't forget to do the other arm. You could do this one for, 3-4 minutes, just holding it, engage your triceps, keep your core tight. Awesome job, everybody. And that's today's Fit Tip. See you next time.
This week, we brought you another installment of What's Cooking at Shell Point with Ruth Duber. She joined David Lee once again at his place, along with special guest artist and cook Doug Hayes. This time, they prepared beans in a pressure cooker.
Hello, I'm Ruth Duber, and this is What's Cooking at Shell Point. And I have David with me again, and this handsome gentleman is a guest of David's. And he's been here for a little while, and he's just taught us some wonderful things. As I have said in the other show, things have changed in the 10 years since I've been doing this show. And it's always interesting that there are so many new ideas in cooking. And that's what we've been doing. And today, you're using a pressure cooker, is that right?
That is right, and that's a very old technique, right?
Okay.
This is like what David was saying. What were you saying about this pressure?
It's not my grandma's pressure cooker. I don't have to worry about blowing up the house.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had one that worried me all the time, every time I used it.
Yeah, and you never knew if it was done or not.
That's
so.
right. And then to cool it down, that was dangerous too. So, okay, I'm going to let the two of you take over and give us the show here.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Doug, what are you going to do for us today?
Well, we're going to demonstrate how we can use this new pressure cooker to cook some very traditional meals. The nice thing about the pressure cooker is it cooks so fast that things that usually would take 2 or 3 hours, like beans, legumes.
Or overnight, too.
Or soak them overnight. It took a long time to cook, and you had to watch the pot. You had to be right there because if you let it go an extra 20 minutes, you ended up with mush. So this pressure cooker has a built-in computer, and you can program it for however long you want it to cook. So all you have to do is put the ingredients in, program it, and walk away. And a lot of times I'll pre-prepare a meal the night before, right before I go to sleep, and I'll just go ahead and turn on my pressure cooker with everything in it, and it'll heat up, cool down, keep it warm, and then in the morning I've got oatmeal or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
really good oatmeal.
Yes, really good oatmeal. So, and again, the luxury of the pressure cooker lets us do things really fast. And having the computer on it, having it programmable, takes all the guesswork out of it. So it's effortless.
And it's got a safety so that it won't blow up.
It's pretty safe. It's and the lid has the lock, so if it's still under pressure, you can't take it off. But it's and we'll get to that, and I'll show you how we release the pressure and everything. But
the two things you intrigued me with is, number one, you said you could cook a corned beef in an hour.
Right.
And while I love to cook, I never do corned beef. It's too much work.
It does.
I
It
gotta
takes
watch
all day.
And the second thing, which I know we're doing today, I have never cooked with legumes.
Right.
Because I just, too much to it. So I'm looking forward to this.
Mixing the legumes and the whole grains makes sort of a bean soup or stew, and you can dress it up with spices however you like. If you want it hot and spicy, like with a curry, you can do that. Or if you just want just plain simple, it works. And pretty much then if you want to add any kind of meat, like later, if you wanted to put some pork in it or like some diced chicken breast, you can then add and make it more of a stew. So it's something that, in the beginning of the week, I can cook up a big pot of this, and every time I pull out, I can dress it up differently and make a totally different dish. And all the ingredients that we're using, some of them are a little bit exotic sounding, but we picked all this up at Publix and Fresh Market. So our main ingredients, we're going to use some whole grains and some legumes. So we've got some farro, we've got some steel cut oats, spelt, wild rice, and then 3 kinds of beans. We've got black beans, pintos, and black-eyed peas. And the reason we're choosing these 3 kinds of beans is because they all cook really close to the same amount of time. So when you put them in the pressure cooker, we're not going to have anything that's overcooked, because you can't really stop the pressure cooker, open it up, and add stuff. That's the one thing. Once you close it up, it's closed up until you're done. Now, this technique is just to give the beans a quick once over before we put them in the pot, and just a regular kitchen towel. And what we want to do is just smooth them out and just eyeball them and make sure that the harvester didn't accidentally leave a stick, a piece of stem or something like that. And usually the beans are clean, so we don't usually find stuff, but it's always nice to have a quick look. So then after we do that, then it's a real easy quick fold. Okay, and I'm going to walk this over to the pressure cooker and just put the beans in here. So with the recipe, we want about 10 cups of liquid, and you can use chicken stock, beef stock, just pretty much any kind of stock that you would like. Today we're using some homemade chicken stock that David had made earlier, and you combine the stock with the water when you do your ratio of dry ingredients to water. So we're doing 6 cups of water and 2 cups of broth, which is going to take us to 8 cups of liquid. So we'll just let this go right in here. And it's ready to go into the pressure cooker. So we just drop this right in the pressure cooker, and we're going to add some salt. It's always good to add a little bit less than what you think you're going to need, because you can't take salt back out, but you can always add more later. And then we want to put olive oil in, and one of the main reasons we want the olive oil in is because when you cook the beans, they tend to foam up, and they can plug up the release valves. So a little bit of olive oil protects that. So once the lid is, now it's locked into place. Once there's pressure on it, we won't be able to take it back off. So now we just go, and I'm selecting high pressure, and we're going to take it up to 30 minutes. And then hit start, and that's it. It will come up to temperature. It'll start counting down from 30 minutes as soon as it reaches high pressure, and it'll turn itself off when it's done. So that's all there is to it.
Well, this is your finished product.
Mm-hmm.
It looks wonderful. I've never seen that many beans in one recipe at the same time, but I'm sure that adds to the flavor. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what we learned from this, it's so easy, but then there was a little extra liquid, so we reduced that down, just boiled it down a little bit.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And so there's many ways to serve this, right?
Yeah, like I said, every day I could put a little bit in a bowl and add some new ingredients, but it's also a really nice side as an accompaniment, like you would have beans and rice, because basically that's what we're doing, it's beans and rice.
Yeah. and I don't. You can serve it with steak or chicken, or fish. And then just what I'm thinking of doing for lunches for Margie and me is to serve it like you said, on a little bit of lettuce.
And the lettuce is nice and crisp and cool, and it's a good,
Yeah.
a nice contrast to the beans.
And then when the tomatoes are nice and fresh, once again, tomatoes and mozzarella and little beans. And then, of course, Ruth, we'll decorate our plates a little bit.
This
again.
is what David has brought to my shows, and that is dressing the plate.
You eat with your eyes first.
That's exactly right, and I've never done it that much, but I'm learning a lot from you, David.
Oh, well, and the same for me to you. 200 recipes, my golly. Okay, there's that one. And we'll just put a little basil around here. And that's a nice light lunch.
It is, and boy, you can really smell that basil.
Yeah.
The eyes first, nose second, right?
Yes, yep.
That's right.
So,
Well,
and I forgot to put the...
Oh, you put a little bit of olive oil on it? Okay.
Yeah, and once again, you introduced me to the Italian.
Yeah. And
good Italian that we get at Publix.
Yeah, that's one of the nicer olive oils that you can get that is, fortunately, is available at Publix.
Yeah. There you are.
Well, you've certainly brought something that's beautiful to the eyes, but we can't, miss talking about your beautiful sculpture, which is also a symphony for your eyes.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you have many talents.
Well, cooking sustains me so that I can do my real work, which is shaping metal. And I was very happy to contribute to Shell Point with that sculpture.
We certainly appreciate it. And come back and see us again.
I will.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Volunteer Coordinator Beth Crenshaw visited the UPS room this week to learn all about the shipping process from some of the volunteers there in the Creativity Tunnel. It takes a crew of dedicated individuals to make sure that your packages get shipped where they need to go on time. But as we saw, it's not all work and no play in the UPS room.
We finally got some donuts, guys. Who ate my chocolate donut?
I got it.
You gave my. You don't want to share it?
You gotta be fast.
Duncan.
Somebody already ate a piece out of that.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Your turn.
That's pretty nice.
Next time when we order them, will you get all chocolate? All right. We've got a major problem with our tape guns. First of all, the tape is too cheap and it breaks. Okay? That's my first problem. Second problem is the glue accumulates on this, whatever this thing's called. Who knows what that is?
Flapper.
It's called
a flapper?
A flapper.
A flapper, okay.
It's called a flapper.
And you see how it sticks to it? Yeah. If we had some way of cleaning that off or eliminating it, I don't know why we even need it.
No, I'd say take it off.
Anybody? Well,
It wouldn't be too hard.
I think.
Can we get to the...
You got a pair of pliers?
Yeah, you got a pair of pliers. I probably can get that.
Sure.
Now this is the old-fashioned, but it still has that flapper.
Well, that's to keep the tape from falling off.
Well, but it gets stuck on there. See that tape accumulating?
Yeah.
If we had some way of cleaning that,
It would help.
it would help.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? Because you're the one
Will I
who
get a
knows.
raise?
Huh?
I'll get 2 donuts next time.
Sure.
If I get 2 donuts, but they have to be chocolate. Bavarian cream. No, none of this fancy pink stuff. That's women's stuff.
Those things, those little sprinkles are bad for you.
They're bad. They
My
are
doctor told me never to eat the donuts with the sprinkles on.
You get caught in your teeth.
They get caught in your
do.
teeth?
Yeah.
Wait,
Particularly
you just
when
take
you
your teeth out.
Yeah,
Right.
they get under your dentures.
We're thinking of having Beth come in to help us, but really we have to train her to do the work that we're doing. Forget the donuts and forget all this
Get
stuff.
the donuts. Are you
I
ill?
would forget the
Oh,
donuts.
no, can't do that.
Can't do that.
I mean, that's
Donuts
secondary.
are the reason
We're
I come here.
At any rate, let's have Beth come in, and John will show her how to run the computer,
There you go,
and they
John.
will show her how to pack,
How to pack.
wrap up, and tape up a package and get it on its merry way. I think
Great.
Beth would be a good candidate for this job. She's young, and she has
Good
the
looking.
She's
strength.
very skillful.
Very skillful. She has a lot of intelligence. But she will need to be trained, otherwise she could mess the thing up here so
Oh, boy, she
quickly.
really could.
It would be a real problem. And UPS would get after us, and we'd probably all lose our jobs. So bring Beth in and let's train.
Everyone's decided we're going to train Beth, but before we call her in, let's finish these donuts before she gets here. Let's go get them.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hi guys. I'm here for my training.
Yeah, great.
Where do we start?
Well, start at the beginning.
Have a cup of coffee.
Have a cup of coffee.
Donuts?
Would you like a donut, Beth?
Yeah.
We've saved these especially for you.
A pink one just for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
They
perfect.
go with your outfit.
Ah, they do. And I like these sparkles.
Oh.
Yeah, the sparkles are my favorite part.
Now the first thing you have to do is go and talk to John, because John will show you how to run the computer.
Okay.
And that's very important because the rest of us are just a little bit not too computer savvy. So maybe you
So
could
start with John.
start with John.
Okay.
John's a very competent.
All right, John, so where do we start?
This is a shipping ticket that everyone makes out who's going to send a package, okay? And the name and the address, the name goes up here.
The address goes there. The postal code goes here. And then up in reference, you put down the person who's sending it and their apartment number. Say, list of the amounts for insurance. If you want 500, it costs you $4.50 extra. So it's all there for you. Yeah. That's right. That makes this pretty simple. And then when you're finished entering all the stuff, then you figure out how much it's going to cost the customer. And if you hit the F10 button, a label comes out that goes on the package.
Well, I think we need a customer.
Well, okay.
I wonder if somebody's going to walk through the door.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
All right.
Hi, Phil.
What's going on?
Well, I'm getting trained here at the UPS room.
Oh, cool. I got something I'd like to have shipped out.
All right. We can make
We can do that for you.
Okay.
Take it for me here.
All right. I'd like to, wrap it. It's kind of delicate. I'd like to send it to Nova Scotia.
Oh, Nova Scotia.
Can't send it out of the country.
Okay, send it to Hull of Maine.
Maine?
Yeah, Hull.
Do that. Okay.
All right.
But you,
No, they have moose up there.
Bruce.
So now, guys, if we're shipping something like this, it looks pretty delicate. You guys have the packing materials here already?
We can put something real soft on the bottom,
All right.
and then we'll lie it in here very carefully. And then we'll put a lot of this stuff on top.
Where do you guys get all your supplies?
Here and there and everywhere.
Where do they come from? So people bring in
Yes.
packages that they've opened and this is already in there?
Right.
That's great, so other residents
And
provide
then we'll
this.
just set that up.
Oh, can I do the taping part?
Yes, sure. That would be right.
All right, I'll try it.
Try not to get your donut in it.
Yeah. And I,
That's right.
all right. All right,
Give another one on that side.
okay, all right. It's kind of getting stuck on this metal piece down here.
Right.
Yeah. All right,
Okay, we'll seal that up pretty good.
okay. How'd I do?
You did perfect. Check the bottom. The bottom is good. It's ready to go.
Okay.
What do I owe you?
What are you? It'll be less than $100.
Less than
Such
a deal.
Wait.
Okay, you take a check?
1 pound.
All right, so we enter in 1 pound.
All right, well, I have to put the addresses on.
We can go through all this, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like this job, you guys. That's
I think
pretty,
you just like donuts.
this is pretty fun. This is a lot of fun. You guys are a lot of fun to hang out with.
If you come every Tuesday at 10, we'll give you something to do. But you have to be willing to give time.
Well, 1 hour a week, right?
1 hour a
Ernie?
week. That's all you need.
1 hour a week.
Yeah.
And you guys are looking for
We
people,
are
I've
looking,
heard.
especially on Tuesday.
I've heard Tuesdays and Fridays are some days that maybe need a little more help.
Yeah. We could use some help.
All right, so maybe if anybody's out, looking for something to do, 1 hour a week, have some fun and
Would they call you?
eat a donut, they would call me.
What's your phone number?
It's 454-2290.
There it is.
Yeah.
That sounds like the same number as the so then
Oh, I'm one
the
number.
label simply goes right over the top, any old label, to make sure that UPS doesn't get confused.
Okay,
Put it on real nice.
there we go. All right.
Smooth it off.
And then when we charge the customer, how do we do that?
Now he's going to have to pay for it.
Okay.
How much is it?
It's $11.07.
$11.
Such a deal.
Such a
Okay, I have an Ace reward card. No.
No.
Okay.
Just give it.
Allstate?
Do you have any coupons?
Coupons? No, I don't, but I have
You
an
have-
Allstate card.
That'll do
Put
it.
the tracking number for him?
Yes. How about a lottery ticket?
See, there's the part of the tracking number is already on, and we'll add the other 8 numbers, which are 4508 and 9020. So tomorrow you can get on your computer on UPS, and they'll say put in the tracking number, and they'll tell you exactly where the package is. It might be in Kalamazoo, it might be
One
in
important thing, Artie,
Texas.
you only take cash and checks.
Cash and checks.
No
That's right.
credit cards.
No credit
No
cards.
credit card.
That's right. No coupons.
No coupons? All right, I got it. 1.
That'll be enough.
Okay, close enough.
Well, that was easy. I think I can handle this, guys. I really think I could do this, and I really had fun. So, you got anything else at all,
I
Phil?
got one more item outside in the car.
Okay.
Let me just bring it in.
All right.
And that's where
Oh my.
Guys?
Are you ready? Are you shipping the legs too or just the top?
Just the top. Just the top.
Okay.
Should I be taking the mic?
overnight, it'll cost you about $250. So you
Oh, that's cheap.
That's cheap. Okay.
That's bigger than anything we've ever had before.
What is it? Heavy?
And that's going to wrap things up for us here on this weekend edition of Shell Point Today for August 26, 27, and 28. I'm Dan Philgreen, and on behalf of everyone here at SPTV, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.